What is up, y'all? OG's MC here. Over the next few days, we are going to be doing a few modifications to make this pre-bug Zuma into a little bit more of a stunt build, so I can finally do a stunt series on this channel, which is what I've wanted to do for so long, but I've never had a wheelie bar or proper tires to actually do anything. So we are going to be kitting this thing out with a couple things, just a couple things, not too much, in this big old box right here. Don't question why there's no wheel on the bug eye. Not important right now. This box has a few of the parts we're going to need. I'm going to turn this into a wheelie bar by reinforcing it and putting some pegs on it, and I'll let the video speak for the rest. Now, what's in the box, you may ask? Well, there's a few things a good stunt build should have. One of those things is tires that can actually grip the ground. Unlike the stock tires from 2001 that this bike came with, that are completely bald and crap, I am going to be putting whatever these are on it because they look pretty cool and they actually have tread on them, unlike those. In order to make this into a wheelie bar, we have to cut out this section of it, which means I have to get rid of this brake light, and I also have to get rid of the turn signal mounts and the plate holder. So we're gonna have to do something about that. I got this really cool clear tail light with integrated turn signals in it. So we're gonna cut that part of the fairing out and put that in there. I think it'll look so good. Because on the US models, it came with that big, ugly tail light. This is JDM, brother. Some JDM goodness. Now, how am I gonna wheelie or stoppie without brakes? I've already got that covered. I got a Malossi rear brake. I've heard that the stock Yamaha brakes are probably the best that you could get, but I kind of wanted to try something out. So I got this Malossi rear brake, and I thought it looked cool because it's yellow. So we're going to be testing that. Hopefully it grips more than the stock brake, so I can hang it back even further. And then my front brakes on this pre-bug have been squeaking like crazy. It's so embarrassing pulling up to somewhere and hitting the front brake, and you just hear this super loud squeak. So we got some Polini front brake pads, so we could do some dank stoppies. And then, of course, we had to get some style points up in there. So we got this little STR8 kicker. It's blue. Doesn't really match too well, but I like how it looks. It's kind of cool. There are some parts that I want to get for this bike that are out of stock right now, like the rear shock. So I need to wait for them to be in stock, so stay tuned and see if I actually get them. I probably won't. And I'm gonna get this painted and reinforced so that will look very good. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. On this bike, I also desperately need a wheelie light on the forks, so when I pick it up at night, I can actually see where I'm going. Because right now, when I try and do a wheelie at night, I can't see a dang thing. I'm just taking a shot in the dark. Alrighty, I just came back from a little rip and we are going to get started on this bike. Now the first thing we have to do to this scooter is we have to take the rear wheel off so we could put that the brake shoe in there and get the tire on. But to do that, we got to take off that exhaust. I'm not looking forward to that. Now, unlike the bug eye, Yamaha made it very easy to access this bike's exhaust. There's a little door, there's a cute little door.
Alright, just a little quick explanation for people who are a little bit newer to scooters. The reason why it's easier to get the exhaust off of the pre-bug and not the bug eye is because the pre-bug's engine is a vertical Minarelli. The vertical Minarelli engine has the piston and cylinder jug facing straight up and down, perpendicular to the CVT, rather than the horizontal Minarelli on the bug eye and stuff like the PGO Big Max, which is laying flat in line with the CVT. The exhaust on the vertical Minarellis is just a bit easier to get off because you don't have to lay down on the ground and get under the engine to take it off. Giving myself a little pat on the back now for meeting the 10-minute mark.
Very nice. I very much self-sabotaged myself by riding this before I decided to work on it, because that exhaust is so hot right now I cannot touch the bolts. So I gotta wait for it to cool off. Ugh. Oh my god. Look at how restricted that exhaust port is on the stock 50. That is so bad. This exhaust was a lot easier to take off than I thought, and there's a little copper O-ring gasket right there. So I will not need to get another gasket. Let's get to the wheel now. Alrighty, let's see how bad this stock brake got. Doesn't look bad at all. Well, we're gonna replace it anyway, because Melosi, awesome. Oh my god, why do they make these boxes so hard to open? Alright, y'all, a little progress update. I got that Melosi brake on there, and got that tire on the wheel. It's looking pretty fresh. Yeah. A lot of people say they don't like the Melosi brakes because they don't bite as hard as stock, but if you read the manual, it says that you have to do a break-in on the brakes to fit it to the shape of your drum. So I just did that break-in and it bites so much better than the stock brake. It's great. Also, this rear tire looks pretty cool. I think it's a little thinner than it was before. I might have gotten those numbers wrong. Still Wheelie's good though. Got the front wheel off. I got that Brembo, yeah. Brembo KYB combo. The Brembo brakes are glazed to shit. I can see my reflection in it. These new Pellini brake pads are nice and shiny and look like my dirt bike's oil. What's up, babe? What's up, baby? Alright, we are having the weirdest problem right now. We put the new Pellini brakes on the front, which is a hydro brake. It's a Brembo caliper. And I pull this, and we bled the brakes already. We put new brake fluid in it, and this goes all the way in, and it barely bites. People, it is way later at night, and I just had a whole emotional adventure about my front and rear brakes not working like they should have. I got it figured out when I calmed down and got out of my like ape rage trance mode, but now they like kind of work how they should enough. You know, I still gotta seat that rear brake in, but we got the little kick lever on that looks good, pretty nice, you know. I don't know. And I got some use out of the cutoff wheel with my rear rack. We took that whole thing off of the back, that whole pile of metal. Now it's a wheelie bar, so I accidentally cut straight through that. We're gonna get a bunch of this welded. I'm gonna get these two bars reinforced with like rebar or something. I also have to fit that tail light up into there, right here, this nice looking tail light. Just gonna go right in there. Hopefully it'll look pretty clean. Anyways, I'll see y'all in a couple days when I have more stuff done. Alrighty, y'all, it's a few days later. I completely forgot to record this, but we put that nice JDM taillight on there. She is looking real clean.
You see that bar right up there, and you see the blue welds on either side? I got that reinforced. Very nice. I also stripped the paint off of the whole thing so I can finally paint it like a cool color. Now we got a proper wheelie bar. That's what I'm talking about.
You can barely see it because it's the daytime, but it does work and it does look super good. I'm very happy with that. All we had to do was cut out the plastic right here, and I wired it up, and there's already 2 holes in the fender to mount it. So that was just a super easy mod. And I already tested scraping it. The tail light does not hit the ground when I scrape it, so that's good. Unfortunately, I will not be progressing on this build for a little bit, and I'm gonna have to make a part 2 for this video because I was riding my dirt bike and I came around this berm and I went a little too high and I smacked a tree with my knuckles, and I cannot work on or ride this bike right now because my hand is so messed up. So definitely stay tuned for that part 2. I'm gonna be making it. Drop some things in the comments that I should get for this to make it better for stunting. I'm thinking as of right now, I wanna paint this like a nice pearl white. I wanna get a rear shock because that one's definitely super soft. And I need to break in these brakes or get a different set because they're being a little funky right now. And I also might get a different stand for the bottom because this just juts out a little too far. I'm not really a big fan of the center stands.
And with that, I think I'm going to end the video off here. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll see you. Peace.